much. Mistakes. So many basic mistakes. As soon as they fixed those mistakes, they got it back, eventually losing 7-5, but they made it very difficult in the end for Elevate. And as long as they can limit those mistakes in this matchup, I do fear for Dplus. I think Dplus will find it far more difficult to kind of beat DarkZero on an even playing field. If DarkZero bring those mistakes as they did yesterday, then Dplus have every chance. So for me, it really feels like the onus is going to be on DarkZero to play well. They do that, they probably win this series.
Yeah, they'll need to set the tempo in this matchup, and starting out on attack puts them in the perfect position to do so. To Lair we go, the newest map in the 9-map pool that we have here for Rainbow Six Esports. And so it will be quite exciting to see just how deep the strat book is, especially from DarkZero on this particular map. In terms of the operator bans, it is the Guys Monty combo. Guys is a little bit more left of field from Dplus, but he can certainly add value in this current meta. Monty, not much more needs to be added, one of the strongest in the attacking lineup. Currently, the Valkyrie to follow. There's a lot of vertical opportunities on a map like Lair, and so by taking that off the board, there will be limited info available to the defense. Let's see what Dplus then respond with themselves, and it's the mirror to round things off. I certainly agree with your sentiment, Jake. For me, it's all about DarkZero minimizing mistakes comparatively to what we saw yesterday. That scoreline is very, very, very deceiving. There was every world in which Elevate should have absolutely run away with that matchup. The first half was incredibly one-sided against DZ. For Dplus, though, they are a team that are very, very historically susceptible to making key mistakes, and we've seen that. We casted them at one point in time and saw quite a few of them in that BD game, so let's see how they go today as well.
So Lair, an intriguing choice for Dplus, to play it twice since its inception, 1-for-1, most recently a month ago against PSG Talon at the start of October. For DarkZero, this will actually be the debut for them on this particular map. 12 times in terms of a map veto process. They've banned it 11 times, only once against them. So this has been a hard ban. The only map that they've banned out more has been Skyscraper. So they have not played this map on an official since it has been released 0-0 for Lair. So we're going to see the first time for DarkZero. Of course, they've gone and picked Clubhouse as the second map of this best-of-3 series. Dplus on the defense to begin. So I'm very curious to see what we're going to get from DarkZero here.
Absolutely. And I think that sets up the storyline that if DZ a bit of a more unknown quantity here on Lair, Dplus must absolutely be winning it. Otherwise, it will likely spiral out of control. And I definitely back in DarkZero to have better fundamentals on a map like Club, which should outclass Dplus more times than not.
Now at the major so far, Bolo, 62 EPS, minus 12 KD. These are the kind of games that he can certainly frag farm and maybe find some confidence here at the Montreal major. Don't want to get twisted though. Dplus, if they play to their best ability, they certainly can be a competitor in this matchup, but DarkZero really should not be getting eliminated from the major in a series such as this. All the pressure on them as Woogieman, we watch him at the moment, and he's been their best player throughout the tournament so far. 107 EPS, +2 on the entry fights as well in terms of those initial engagements. Early Logic Bomb has been utilized by Nafe. Through the bridge he goes. It is the opening kill to Bolo on cue. There you go. And it is also onto Woogieman, who's been good in the entry battles for Dplus, so a really good sign early on for DarkZero.
Well, a super extensive roam in terms of verticality here from Dplus. No presence on the second floor, but rather extensive on the first floor itself. After losing Woogieman, though, maybe now is the time to consolidate a little bit more towards side as we see these rotations come through. DarkZero will be rather content in the way in which this round has panned out so far. With that utility from the striker from Bolo opening those hatches, should be pretty straightforward with the secondary hard breaches, and then the ace helm was to follow up with a focus on site itself. The drone work as well from DarkZero in this particular round has been quite strong in gathering information to counteract the roam, and that can now be used to help identify who is on side and perhaps who is not. Yunsang on the smoke, Armory hallway, and he's going for a roam.
Yeah, I wonder if he gets pushed in from behind by Kobilax later in the round. Second Logic Bomb, final one as well from Nave. Get those calls out. Still 3 gas babes available for Yunsang. Nitrocell 2 for MV Taylor as Pamperzu's going to fall to the floor, and JR from behind of Yun Sang, who turns around, just slams him in the head. And just like that, Dplus will flip the switch halfway through this round. I mean, in fact, there's only 30 seconds left in this one. Right side though, and the shotgun's not going to do enough from there. What is Yun Sang doing?
Why are you watching the smoke, not the diffuser? He's not going to push through the smoke.
JLT gets one onto Nave. Suddenly Bolo, who's done it all in this round, and the only one to do anything for DarkZero. A third found, the ace required. Throws out the frag grenade with 10 seconds left. He does have to the diffuser. Deals with the bulletproof camera. Another frag has been thrown. Knows that he needs to clean another player out in MV Taylor, but he cannot do so. A strange old round to kickstart this elimination match, but Dplus will get the opening round.
Yeah, I didn't quite get a chance to say it during that first round, but I think, tempering expectations for the cleanliness and quality of this matchup. I think it will be a little bit scrappy, especially on a map like Lair, which is quite new in the pool, and we haven't really seen it tested at all by DZ.
That's true. That's true.
That round, right? I mean, allowing Yun Sang to flank.
I mean, good for Bolo, though, to get the confidence, because he's had a struggling major so far for DarkZero. Goes and gets 3 kills in that round, almost clutches up, but he had so much work to do at the end. No one else for DZ. Being able to find a single kill is quite strange, considering the map control that they were eventually able to get. Dplus making a couple of errors. They're just unable to capitalize. I mean, this is going to come down to really, I think, simplistically, if DZ have not workshopped Lair to the fullest degree that you can coming into the major, I mean, this could be a loss simply just down to not it could be map diff.
Yeah. Which isn't a complete disaster for DZ.
No, it's not a complete disaster.
I fully expect them to go on and win Clubhouse, irrespective of how this pans out. So.
Oh, good start for Dplus Kia. And they did so as well without Woogieman, who lost that initial engagement against Bolo. Again, Woogie's been the best player for Dplus by far and away. JLT having a decent round. He's been statistically their worst rated player at the tournament. Only a 9% survival rate. I actually did have an intriguing stat for this matchup too, guys, that I didn't get the time in the pre-show to talk about. And considering Lair can certainly have some slow stages to it, so I'm gonna bring it up now. It's a Xenox fun fact, and they're always quite fun. In terms of attacking win rate, Dplus is the worst team at the major. It's not great.
That doesn't sound very fun for them.
No, it doesn't. But you know what helps them? Is the team they're playing against has the worst defensive win rate of the major in DarkZero. Opening kill for Nath, and JLT will fall. So a second opening kill found for DarkZero. 2 rounds in a row, they go 5-4 up. Pamperzu on the exterior has one right close to him.
And it's shotgun up close.
Oh my goodness, it's a standoff with the old-fashioned. Oh, what turns around at the last second, and the Warden goes down. 2 rounds in, mistakes certainly already building up from these two teams. Yeah, Yun Sang, that one is not one he's going to want to look back on proudly. That's a vault in with no info. DarkZero lose 2 immediately. Guys, we were talking about mistakes in the pre-show. Stop making them. MV Taylor gets rid of Kobilax. And suddenly Dplus have got the advantage.
Minute 20 on the clock. Pamba with DMR in hand. They're still on the exterior. Pamba is at least able to find his second in the round, and so that bodes well for DarkZero, but the line is held with the SMG. MV Taylor, 4 kills to kick off this first map. They're finally able to repel inside, but the damage already done by the defense. He'll need to try and clutch this one up. Has some utility that he can lean into. 1 smoke dispersed, and still 1 in the pocket. Diffuser, though, not in hand, and that now identified. And if they could elect to go for kills, and he will push forward. Dplus, though, should be able to hold down the line, and that's exactly what they do.
Yeah, sloppy. It's the most blunt way to say it in terms of a round like that from both teams, respectively. Sloppy. So if this is going to be kind of how Lair is played, then it just simply comes down to who can mitigate those mistakes.
We mainly couldn't do anything. This guy was conscious of having us off.
Not a super energetic looking DarkZero in terms of the opening 2 rounds. 2 losses to kickstart this elimination. Best of 3 to Dplus Kia. Certainly some decent takeaways. Again, Again, 2 rounds in a row, they've been able to find the opening picks, but that's just a little sloppy there from Bolo. Doesn't check right side. Easy one for Coded. At the same time, Wookie then found another one elsewhere, and the 32-year-old Envy Taylor's franking out.
There's hope for you yet.
There is hope for me yet. There's hope for us all 30-plus-year-olds. 5-0 for Envy Taylor, still fragging at the ripe old age of 32. Testament to his character and his ability. For Dplus, it's not a defense that is strangleholding DarkZero by any means. There are weaknesses. There's weak links. There are certainly capabilities for DarkZero to exploit said weaknesses. And I think that's where DC just got to keep calm, keep cool. They'll understand, okay, these guys are making some errors. Let's just kind of mitigate our own, start to capitalize, and get some rounds on the board.
So the Blitz then in play then in the hands of Bolo for the 3rd round. The only primary shield operator available, the Monty banned out by DZ. Exterior wall opened up. Pretty easy work there for DarkZero. The nature of this site being that DarkZero will likely want to contest for some vertical control up above. And so the Blitz will be quite a valuable tool in looking to help facilitate that. And then the Nomad to fortify the flanks once control is obtained. As you can see, a couple of players are up above contesting. JLT plays first contact though towards the hole.
Oh, shot in the back though. Nice, good pinch from DarkZero. Sending Bolo down the bridge. I thought maybe it was going to be a difficult task for the likes of a Blitz, but he does so without losing any HP, and then Kobelax plays off it. It's a decent coordination there from DarkZero to get that kill onto JLT. And for the 3rd round running, they've got the opening kill.
Yeah, just about to mention it. It's all about this conversion, though, at this point in time. R6 room being locked down by Yunsang on the Warden, so a great counter into the Blitz, and the smoke's also in the pockets of a couple of these attackers. We'll see how Bolo tries to help break this down alongside the rest of the team. Warden is spotted out. Nath elsewhere, able to find Woogieman. And so the counterplay from the Oryx onto the Blitz also now is shut down. With that, it's a 5v2 advantage for DarkZero, and the plane is going down. Envy Taylor up above tries to find line of sight, but he won't be able to identify that player. And so the plan is secured. Into the post we go. And this will more than likely be a flawless round for DarkZero. Flash to come through. Yunsang under a lot of pressure alongside Envy Taylor inside of security as they try to fight their way out. Easier said than done with Pamba locking that down. Yunsang has line of sight onto that diffuser, but the vertical control still in the hands of DarkZero, and they will finally convert an opening kill.
Yeah, super clean round. Absolutely clean round from DarkZero there in the way that they were able to get not only the top floor control, but then get the plant down, deny those that were still up above from being able to contest the plant. So planning in a good position, good map knowledge, good control. And it all started off really with that pinch over towards Skybridge when you've got the Blitz kind of pushing down this long corridor, this long hallway. It's not all that easy. It's a little bit harder to, well, utilize the Blitz as much as you would want to, and that kind of close, get the flash, etc. So Kobelax does really well to coordinate off of Bolo's positioning. They get the opening kill. From that, you can then move around, good top floor control. And yeah, that goes to show the level that DarkZero can go to. And the question that I want answered later on is, can Dplus match that? Because in this round, they didn't.
You might be able to go quick storage, okay? You might be able to go quick dodge.
It is the tertiary site, however, and so I don't think Dplus will be too dissuaded as we rotate down to basement now. But I totally agree. A real solid round there from DarkZero. Great pinch for the opening kill. Good clear up above. Dealt with the counters.
One thing Dplus need to work on these early engagements. I mean, it's going against them pretty heavily to begin. 3 rounds in, 3 in a row for DarkZero. That's concerning if you're Dplus here on defense of Lair. You need to be in good positions to be able to deny entry, get kills, fall back, play sight, and they're just not being capable because they're not getting the opening kills.
Yeah, it's been a 50% entry rate for Dplus throughout the event thus far. In comparison, DarkZero at 57 heading into this particular map. So only slightly ahead, limited data though.
Yeah, I mean, of course, being 2 teams, phase 2, so many games coming into this, only best of 1, so many rounds. It's an early EE1D on the line scan for Bolo. Taylor caught running around. I think DarkZero sense they can actually get some really good pacing here in this 4th round. Pambasu getting some really decent control down below. Does spot the Azami of Boogeyman. Frag grenade does get pulled. Flashes out now as well. Full white on to Nave. Pamba does find 2 anyway off the back of that utility, and it is all going apart for Dplus Kia on the defense. 2 rounds in a row. The DarkZero have been swift. They're getting good map control, they're getting site control, and Dplus are just not offering any kind of contest. Dplus are sitting back, they're playing further anchor positions, but not able to then contest where they need to. I mean, Boogeyman caught the keeper barrier in hand as he swings the doorway. These are basic fundamentals. DarkZero are exploiting a rather weak defense here on this map from Dplus now. I mean, lo and behold, for DarkZero, if you just don't play silly, you should get the job done. That's always been the mantra coming into this match. And the difference is night and day in terms of the 3rd round and, well, now this 4th round, where they are putting the pedal to the metal and Dplus are just not responding. It's a stat pad here for MV Taylor. He's moving further away from the site.
Nice. Nagowski.
Yeah, clean work there from DZ, identifying that the direct hit was probably the best avenue and the best win condition available in that particular round. Spearheaded off the back of the blitz. Good forward positioning from Pamba as well, who eventually netted 2 picks. Dplus not in a position to contest that with much strength. As we have a look back at the replays, Pamba was able to find 2 in the meantime, as mentioned. Blitz went deep. Site then cleared, and those players offside unable to have impact.
I think, you know, kind of looking at the start of this game now for Dplus, it's only a 2-2 scoreline, which is not completely awful, but what's concerning to me is, again, these opening kills, but also the lack of contest overall. I mean, it's one thing to be kind of losing these opening kills, but you're not really even putting yourself in a position to get said opening kills. You're not looking to put DarkZero under any pressure. Like, they're just getting everything they want far too easily. And outside of the first 2 rounds where, well, quite frankly, DarkZero made some rather critical mistakes, of which Dplus did, you know, pounce on, it's been rather concerning these last 2 rounds as to how easy DarkZero are just waltzing around the map. So it's time for Dplus to now see if they can at least be far more contestive earlier on, deny positions a bit more aggressively, even if you don't necessarily win the opening engagement.
That's an angle.
Well, there is an opening kill. Bet up there for Dplus as Kirby will fall. The Deimos dealt with. And JLT will find his 3rd kill of the game. For the first time in this match, Dplus Kia will have an opening kill on their side. 5-4 up.
Yeah, and finding the Deimos there is a really big kill for Dplus. There's a couple of key power positions that Dplus on defense are going to want to hold here. And Deimos is a really good tool in helping dislodge those positions due to the nature of the side and a lot of them being exposed to vertical play. So a big find from Dplus, good forward movement from the defense to find that opportunity. How did DZ perform now after losing that opening drill?
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I don't think they need to change much. They've been able to win the last 2 rounds comprehensively, yes, with numbers advantage. Kind of try and play in a similar fashion. I still think they can win this in a 4v5. Just got to keep an eye on that clock management. 90 seconds left, but close to sight they will be for this particular round. Nave once again on the blitz as he was in the last round. It's so vital, I think, for their ability to try and flush out a couple of these positions. Yunseng playing the Warden here in bathroom. Curtis does fall. That's going to be an aggressive push in, though, from Pambasu. He did get the kill, tried to then play off it, and Nave goes back out in the exterior to pull that Gumine out. Still the advantage with Dplus kill.
Yeah, Dplus have shown a willingness to really contest these window entry points, and Bolo feeling that pressure at the moment. But NJR elsewhere able to find one. Yunsang with a decent response, and with a minute on the clock, a 2 versus 3. Shield still up. Still, though, a tricky position that DZ find themselves.
This is the 2nd time on Master and R6, though, where they're trying to continue to play on these window entries, and I'm not sure why. You can get map control if they're contesting the windows, push out, go move around the map, but it's going to cost DarkZero in this round, a 1v3 for NJR. And Dplus on the verge of finding a 3rd round. Given barrier dealt with by the Selma. It's one hard right. But everyone on site locked in a good position for Dplus. They can play off the kit. And easy swing for MV Taylor. Dplus regain the lead in this opening map. 3-2, but again, it comes down to, you can clearly see the distinct difference when it comes to DarkZero based on the sites. I mean, Master and R6, twice now we've seen it. Such over-focus on the window entries. And it's costing them lives. Even if they're getting the odd kill, as soon as they go to vault in, every time Dplus are in a position to get an easy kill.
Yeah, losing the Deimos hurts with a lack of lurk pressure maybe for down below for a connection top main if they really do want to brute force that for an R6 hit. It means that the likes of Yunseng could chill. The tradability as well was a little bit off. Ultimately left them in that 2 versus 3 and unable to get value from the blitz. Solid work from Dplus. They're quite solid on that particular objective in the face of that attacking pattern from DZ. Let's see how this forthcoming round will play out. There is once again going to be an emphasis on the top floor here as expected from defense. The castle in play to help protect this vertical setup from the defense.
I mean, last time out though, I mean, this is where DarkZero don't play, say, the windows because it is more of a vert hold. They don't necessarily have to go for that direct approach. They'll go more lateral down below, play first floor, and then get a bit of pressure on that north side, on the top side. So, I mean, this is going to be a far different attack though for DarkZero. Dplus need to be aware of this. As we come to the close of this half, it's been difficult to separate these two teams, which is at least a good sign for Dplus here. Maybe defense buff here on Lair. And again, for us, first time really seeing DarkZero navigate this particular map. The one good thing as well, besides the fact that Dplus won the last round, is that they were also able to win the opening engagement with JLT getting rid of Kobilax.
Oh, you got to punish that.
Coda gets away with his life intact, even if on low margins, 32 to 110. They continue to try and push him behind Nave, who's just pushing straight through the mezzanine, clearing this top floor position. Takes out Default, falls back. A decent job in terms of securing some top floor control for DarkZero. Trying to just hem Dplus back further on the other side of top floor. Maybe even force them down to first floor. Deathmark goes out onto Yunseng, who is on 7 HP. It won't take much from the vendetta of Pampersu to find the opening killers of the 6th round. Nave continues to push forward through Master.
There is triple nitro available here to Dplus, but I'm not seeing any rotations down below maybe to contest this vertically. Instead, very front on defense up above here from Dplus. 70 seconds then on the clock.
Jetter's got to try and drop here. Yeah, I mean, I don't even know why he's bothered to stay. Just shoot, spray, fall back, drop the hatch. There's it down in the hallway and confirmed with the knife by NJR, and DarkZero got a commanding lead in this 6th round. Yunseng is on 7 HP, not much he can do. What is NJR watching there? MV Taylor was right behind him, he had no idea. Now outside of the map and going for a run, but caught by Nate with the pistol. What am I watching?
That was one of the more intriguing positions to play as a defender. Definitely don't blame NJR at all for not checking that. There's no reason for anybody to be there.
Absolutely. Yunseng has no HP remaining. And that single shot miss means that Nave can get the melee. And it's a 3-3 half, which all things considered, I think will be pretty decent for DarkZero as they switch over to defense now on a map that we haven't seen them play.
He didn't do nothing, bro. He let his whole team die.
I think he's referencing MV Taylor, or maybe he's referencing Yunseng. I don't know. Yunseng was on 7 health, so I mean, there wasn't a whole lot he could do through the middle portion, but MV Taylor was not playing site, not playing for the win con. Did get a nice kill. NJR would be like, how have I just died?
Yeah, he has stat padded a couple of times throughout this map, so that trend continues. 3-3 scoreline though, I think is quite strong for DarkZero. It's a map that they haven't shown at this level. They're attacking, they have to show initiation. New maps as well, always trend towards defense, naturally. And whilst I think some of their strategy, especially for the top floor attacks, did fall short, elsewhere they looked quite strong. And comparatively to yesterday, fundamentals look far, far, far better. We'll see if that translates over towards defense, though, as the sides
Well, the second half against Elevate for DarkZero, their fundamentals looked very impressive.
Yeah.
So it's really all just about, you know, building on that, bringing it into this match, which I think we've seen kind of bits and pieces of it. I actually think they played better against Elevate for larger portions than even what we've seen here in that second half comeback when they were 6-1 down. They really flipped that switch and they were able to kind of get going. They just left themselves too much work to do, though, in the comeback. When you're 6-1 down, you can't make any errors. They get it to 6-5. They lose that one round, job done. You know, if they had played like that for the entire game, I'm sure they would have ended up winning that like 7-3. So a lot of work to do now for Dplus on the attack. 5 of the 6 opening kills went the way of DarkZero in that opening half, something that Dplus are going to have to look to replicate. They're going to have, you know, good opportunities attacking in to DarkZero's defense. See the Maverick here from Yunsang. Just 1 and 6 for Coded, though. One of typically the top performers for Dplus coming into this game, the second-rated player. I mean, you kind of look at their numbers, though, and most concerning fact for Dplus is that coming into this game, not a single player is positive on KD.
Not a fun fact.
And another non-fun fact is, well, that is also the same for DarkZero. Not a single player positive on KD.
So this is the battle of mid.
It is a mid-off. Yunsang does win the opening engagement against Polo, shuts down the Azami. The Maverick entry is successful into Ops, and that's very much required for Dplus with 90 seconds remaining in the round to get that opening pick, get the Maverick into a position where he can maybe continue to blowtorch this wall. Coded 1-6, can he start to get involved and provide some extra firepower for Dplus Kia? And Woogieman on the blitz, looking to try and push forward, but he has stepped on a Goo Mine. Nice Nitro Cell from Nave to even things back up in terms of the man count. Freebie for JLT.
Oh, no.
Oh, he doesn't, never mind. He just wanted to make it look a bit more difficult. And the pistol will finish off Pampazoo, but the primary should have found the opening. Advantage once again for Dplus, but Nave stands strong in this round, now 8-3. Having a very good performance as Woogie's down to 6 HP. He cannot escape the Nave show. DZ now take the lead in this 7th round. Sang's on the roof. I think they left Kit behind.
It's one of those moments where I just don't need to say anything.
No. The observing does it all. Coded, though, he's got a very good angle down the hallway. Not a lot of time remaining. He has to just hope that Yunsang can actually get in towards the site, get the plant down himself. Jiggle peek. Kobe will go down. Yunsang needs to win this battle, though. Into red time, he's not going to have a lot of help in sticking this plant. Can Coded find a way to get involved? Nave's pushing forward. This would be for the ace clutch. There's 4, there's 5, there's Nave! Did they win the round? They did win the round.
Basement, bunker.
Well, they're pretty chill about it.
Well, it cut to the Dplus cams, and I was a little bit confused for a second, but no, DZ will take it. And it will be the ace for Nave. If I'm going to be honest, actually, Dplus, by the end of that round, probably should have gone on and actually won it. Somehow. Somehow. Despite the semantics on the roof, huge play from Nave.
Yep. They did a really good job in pressuring out that blitz and finding that kill, and then netting the 2 at the very end as well. Great composure. DarkZero tried their best to play discipline there in the late round, but in doing so forfeit a lot of that objective control, and it almost proved costly, but able to bring back.
Does it say a lot about DarkZero, though, mentally, that they just did not even react whatsoever to the ace clutch from Nave? Just some fist bumps.
Slightly different behavior to what we saw from Sonics.
Very different.
Slightly different.
If that was Sonics, the roof would have been blown off the building. 11-3 for Nave. And maybe a pivotal point here in the opening map of this elimination. Best of 3. DarkZero take the lead for the first time. Dplus will be kicking themselves as that was an opportunity for what could have been 4-2. Or 4-3, I should say. For them. Most concerning thing as well is the fact that Woogieman 2-5, that's your star player, your star performer that is struggling. On the opposite side though, the star performer for DarkZero is performing in Nath. 110 EPS coming into this game, and well, that EPS number is sure to be inflated now with an 11-3 performance off the back of the ace clutch.
Bolo, the only player on the first floor for DZ. Likely looking to navigate back towards site, I would assume. Roaming into the Deimos and the Blitz is a surefire way to find yourself caught out if you aren't
yeah, I mean, he's playing the Goyo, so you've set your canisters down. You can go for the roam if you die. In terms of util, it's, well, already been placed. Man, this is slow from Dplus though. It's a big map layer, so you need to try and get the map control as quick as you possibly can. Insane caught. I mean, that's shocking. Easy kill for NJR. Kobe does fall to Woogieman though. Big kill for him. Maybe more action to come from him as well. Under a minute left. Bolo does on the flank eventually find a kill onto Coded. I thought they would meet maybe earlier in the round. Bolo in the end successful, and with that DarkZero regained the player advantage for this 8th round. Woogie on the move through maintenance. Yeah, just struggling to really find these picks, find these players. Dplus just look a little bit lost around the map at the moment. Struggling to get into a position where they can hit site. There is a peek on site though. At this point in the round, you don't need to peek. Force Dplus to clear out. With 20 seconds left, they will have to rush into site. It will be far too difficult. They don't have the numbers, just don't peek. Needs to be the motto for DarkZero here. And in the end, Bolo does stand up to deliver a fatal blow as DarkZero go 5-3 up and are now very much in a commanding position here on the opening map.
Just be ready to fall off upstairs.
Yeah, having issues attacking into Lair does not bode particularly well for Dplus. It's their map selection, and it's one that DZ have hidden. They're not getting value from some of the real power brokers on the attacking lineup at the moment in Siege, namely the Blitz. Completely no impact whatsoever. It's shut down really nicely, the combination of the Gas Babe and the Nitro. We also then saw Deimos there in the late roster with 3 death marks in pocket, so once again, not finding value. Positionally, in terms of coordination as well from Dplus, it's a little bit all over the place at the moment. Tertiary will likely be their best opportunity to start a salvage effort here. But for DZ on the flip side, they've looked rather good in just playing some pretty conventional combinations here in terms of denying that space, not over-peaking, playing the clock, and doing a really good job.
Certainly in a good position to take this map, and with that then heading into Clubhouse, it could be 2-0 territory in favor of DarkZero. To no one's surprise, it's the heavy favorites coming into this elimination match. It's all about taking the form though into the, well, preceding elimination matches to follow. In a similar vein to Sonics, right? Like, you kind of feel very high on Sonics after their performance today, moving forward in the tournament. A team that you just now wouldn't really want to meet if you're one of those teams that lost today in the mid matches, which would be Scars, Black Dragons, Elevate, Space Station. You're kind of looking at, you know, we probably don't want to play a Sonics now. DarkZero need to kind of gain that mindset for their opponents. And say, damn, they played really well. Demolished Dplus, got through comfortably. They feel ready for the best of 3s, having already played them. Is that something DarkZero can take away from this series more than just the win, just more than a scrape by? 5-3 at the moment, looking to try and close this out with 2 more rounds required.
So a successful Maverick trick onto the main breach, then into this Bunk's position from Dplus. The Nitro Cell in response from NJR, not quite finding a fatal blow, but it looks like NV Taylor will fall to Kobe-Lax. Good aggression from him. Over towards the corridor position, bottom of the staircase. Punch in play from the Blitz.
So good information here conveyed by Kobe-Lax. And he gets the kill anyway onto Boogeyman. Another one at the window. He's literally just calling out to everyone. They're all here, they're all here, they're all here. It's so much information for DarkZero. Kobe's played this incredibly well with his positioning over towards the stairs. He's kept his back safe. He's able to play all the angles. That is a sensational moment from Kobe-Lax.
Wrap it up.
Yeah, this one's done.
Yep. And honestly, I'm not even just talking about the map. I think the series is in a lot of trouble.
I mean, the series is certainly not looking likely.
Oh, we're going into a DZ map and Dplus can't attack.
I know
they're screwed.
That was really well played from Kobe, giving him his well-deserved highlights there in the way that he was just not panicked by the situation. It's very easy when you're kind of seeing a lot of bodies coming at you all at once to feel overwhelmed, to start running around. But he holds his position at the stairs. He knows that, yes, they're all here. Yes, I can convey that information to my teammates, but I can also play off of that myself. And he gets a couple of kills and does well for the individual confidence. But for DarkZero now, I mean, it's 4 rounds in a row. Far too dominant. And Dplus don't have the answers at all.
I think that passage of play there from Kobe-Lax, as great as it was, very much exposes the weaknesses that we've seen throughout this half compound for Dplus. Not establishing proper crossfires, allowing that position to come forward. Blitz having 0 impact again. Starting to get very, very nervous for him.
Well, I don't think anyone's necessarily had impact though for Dplus. That's kind of the issue as a whole when you kind of look and run by the numbers. Coded 3-8, no entries. Woogie 3-6, no entries. Those are the 2 players that really need to be firing for this particular team. I mean, I hate to say it, but you know, Dplus is the kind of team that's pretty reliant on individuals, which is never really a good thing. You don't want to be ever overly reliant on 1 to 2 players, maybe sometimes even 3, but all of these top teams when it comes to the major and it comes to these top international events, they can play as a core 5. They can all play off of each other as a synergized team. Dplus don't have that. It's quite literally, can Woogieman just go frag out? And can maybe Coded be his Robin to the Batman of Woogieman? And that's not happening, and clearly the scoreline reflects that. DarkZero heading then over to Club is going to be a nightmare task for Dplus.
So then, can Dplus formulate a response and keep this first map, their selection of Lair, alive? We have set the expectation that a victory here for DarkZero, especially in this fashion, does not bode particularly well for the South Korean roster going forward. Dplus may be able to find comfort now back on the primary side up above on top floor. Maybe this is one they feel a little bit more comfortable in breaking down perhaps, but equally on the flip side for DarkZero, it's also one that is a little bit more default defensively on a map that is still being established in the meta. Decent work early on in terms of hard breach at range, and Taylor can do that from the safety of the roof. And speaking of the roof, we're also going to see those Roteros propelled forward from the Flores in an attempt to counter the Azami. We need to see value here from JLT, especially through ops, but the Mute making that a challenge.
Yeah. I mean, nothing's really working at all for Dplus, even some of the more basic fundamentals.
Well, they're going to set up for the butt clear from down below to contest.
That even almost didn't work.
Yeah. The fundamentals look okay here, positionally from Dplus, but execution falling a little bit short of the mark, and DarkZero having a good read.
You just know Fabian's watching this and wondering how PSG Talon didn't get out of Korea.
Oh. Hey, they did finish with more SI points than G2.
They did. Well done, Fabian. 90 seconds remaining, and still no real contact made between either of the 2 teams. 5v5. I like this position for Kobe on main stairs with a shotgun. That eye's good. Good entry position away from Dplus. Good info for DZ to have in terms of main stairs being watched and locked down. Meaning that for Dplus, there's less avenues to try and push into the side. Easier for DarkZero to hold these angles. 3 gas babes still available for Nath. I mean, in terms of the utility for DZ, they're still in a really good position. You still got Keeper barriers. Nitrocell available, still up for Kobe as well when he eventually swings away from main. Yeah, so stagnant at the moment for Dplus Kia. They're almost just hoping that DarkZero will make a mistake and offer them an entry into the site.
Not 40 seconds then on the clock. NJR needs to be cleared, or Dplus will find themselves in a world of hurt. Smoke Babe as well to stall things out. Last
Can't push
Kandela
in, there's
utilized. Position down below. At least that's shut down.
They deal with Kobe. 20 seconds remaining, and the push up from NJR, and he gets aggressive, gets the headshot. Another one to follow. Envy Taylor just caught as NJR gets aggressive, but he's lost his teammates. Bolo's down as well. It's a 1v2. NJR does get one of the two, and the second to follow.
Let's go!
So clean from DarkZero as they get the result they oh so required on Lair to kickstart this elimination best of 3, 7-3. And a wonderful performance considering the slow start. Dplus got out to a little 3-2 lead, and then from there the rest was history as DarkZero cleaned it all up. And they ended up winning 7 of the last 8 rounds.
Well, if you're a Dplus fan, you were probably preying on my downfall. I called it there, right? NJR, perfect position. He could farm this round. That's exactly what happened. Prior to that, I said that if this goes the way of DarkZero in a dominant fashion, it does not bode well at all for Dplus in the context of this particular series. We are now going to go across to a DarkZero map, and a map at that where fundamentals are absolutely key. And unfortunately for Dplus, fundamentals completely unraveled as that match progressed. For DarkZero, they had a couple of iffy moments at the beginning of this match, but they were able to stabilize. They were able to mount enough rounds to give themselves a defendable position, and then heading into that second half, they made very few mistakes and made Dplus look second rate.
I mean, that's the broken horse I was kind of beating in the first start of this match, simply because we got to see DZ yesterday make so many mistakes, and it really was the thorn in their own side. They were their own issue against Elevate. They were the reason they lost to Elevate. I know that's taking a little bit away from their opponents, and I'm not trying to necessarily do that, but looking to paint the picture that for DarkZero, it's like, if you can just fix your own fundamentals, you will find the results, and that quite literally happened in this match. So the first couple of rounds, yeah, those mistakes were still there. And then you pick that up, you clean that up, and you give yourself more time. You know, you're only 3-2 down rather than 6-1 down before you start to fix things. And they really got going, and then the momentum was just far too good, and it was almost like a wave, and Dplus just could never catch the wave. And in the end for DarkZero, just winning clutch after clutch. They were getting opening kill after opening kill. So every facet of this match, they were able to just control it, win it. Big result from both Nath and NJR in that match as well in terms of double digits. And in the end for Dplus, not a lot to take away from it going into the second map. Like you've been saying for DarkZero and Clubhouse, they're going to be very difficult to take down, and this really does set us up for a 2-0 and maybe even a swift one too.
I think you mentioned this at one point during the cast. Dplus and their attacking win rate being very, very poor.
Right.
Do I need to continue my thought process here? I think the timeline there speaks for itself, right?
No, absolutely. And, you know, again, it was 27% coming into this game from 11 rounds, only 3 successful attacking rounds. And it was, again, a struggle for them in that second half, not finding any, to be exact. And in the first half, you know, I did also mention that, you know, for DarkZero's defense, the lowest at the major, 27%, or 25% actually, which is even worse. Then you go into the second half, and they were super clean. Super clean on defense, on a map that we haven't really seen from them in terms of Lair. Really does bode well for them. Then going into Clubhouse, and then even, well, maybe beyond this series, going into the further elimination matches. If DarkZero is switched on, they're going to be a very difficult team, a very difficult prospect, not one that you will want to face in the further elimination matches. I know there's, of course, still more to play out in this series. We will go to a break, and when we do come back, we will play said Clubhouse, and we'll see if Dplus can maybe dive deep into that strat book.
Tap, yeah, I want that. No lines, I don't cut back. Sweet, salty, and all that. Let loose, come get that. Can you play that back? Can you run that back? I'm trying to play that back. I want that. Tap, let's go. Tap, let's go. Tap, let's go. Right here, can you feel? Let's go. Tap, let's go. Tap, let's go. Tap, let's go. Right here, can you feel that? Ooh, you feel that? Ooh, the real back. Ooh, I'm still that. catch that? Ooh, I guess that, the best back, yeah. 30,000 up, I'm a pilot. Might jump out if I'm wildin'. Catch my flow, I'm so stylish. Tap, tap, real smooth. Can you play that back, back, back? Can you run that back, back, back? I'm trying to play that back, back, back. I want that. Hey, tap, tap, let's go, let's go. Tap, tap, let's go, let's go. Tap, tap, let's go, let's go. Right here, can you feel? Let's go.
God, they delivered beautifully on Lair to kickstart this elimination best of 3, winning 7 of the last 8 rounds, guys, to totally decimate their opponents in Dplus here. A 7-3 victory, leading then now into Clubhouse to follow, has set them up perfectly to try and progress forward here in Phase 2.
Yeah, unfortunately for Dplus, I'm finding it very difficult to find a road forward for them. And this is coming from one of the biggest Apex shills that you will probably find here on the A stream. So I go in with very tempered expectations for Dplus. Unfortunately, yeah, back on Lair, their map selection, their attacks were very, very poor. It didn't leave me with a lot of confidence for them here on a map where fundamentals are going to be absolutely key. It is the absolute classic of Clubhouse that we head into now. Fortunately for Dplus, they will be kicking things off on defense. So spoiler alert before the bans pop up. There it is right now. Maybe they can find some comfort, give themselves a buffer, but it needs to be one hell of a buffer, Jake, because their attacking win rate is the worst at the event.
Yeah, that's the fortunate. The unfortunate aspect is the fact that DarkZero are undefeated this stage, 3-0 on Clubhouse. The even more unfortunate aspect for Dplus is they haven't won on this map in this stage, 0-2. Most recently actually playing it against BDS, and I mean, that speaks for itself. One team's 3-0, the other team's 0-2. It really doesn't speak highly enough of the fact that DarkZero are heavily favored. The one good thing, like you mentioned, of course, Dplus defense to begin on Club, but I don't think that's going to be the deciding factor whatsoever in a matchup like this. For DarkZero, they had some really good form built up on Lair. It's all about now bringing it over to Club.
I don't love completely outruling a team before the map begins, but
well, it's all about setting expectations.
It has, for me, it has to be a case.
That's our job, is to set the expectations, and then it's up to the teams to subvert those.
For me, it's a case of when, not if, DarkZero win this series. And for me, I'm looking at the realm of a 7-2.
Yeah, I think 7-2, 7-3 is probably the territory I'm looking at. I think for Dplus starting on defense, there's your maybe 3 to 4 rounds if you want to be super kind to them. But I just cannot envision them being capable on the attack of breaking down a DZ defense on Clubhouse. That for me is going to be the win con on a series like this. So, I mean, first up means that for Dplus, you probably need 3 to 4 rounds, minimum 3. 4, ideally. 5 would actually be amazing and would change my stance and my tune of this match. So, curious to see how this first half is going to play out. All the momentum with DarkZero coming out of Lair, 7-3 victory.
So, your scoreline prediction is?
7-3 DZ, matching Lair.
Are you just saying that to be different to me?
No.
Okay.
No. 7-3 to DZ.
Okay. It also rhymes.
It does.
It is interesting that we say DZ and not DZ. That just popped into my mind for some reason.
I mean, going back to the first map in terms of where things went wrong as well for Dplus, coded 3-10, Woogie 4-8, touched on it briefly in the opening map. They're going to have to play a lot better here on Clubhouse. You need your top performers. We certainly got that from DarkZero. NJR and Nath were sensational. They also dominated on entry battles as well for DarkZero. So another aspect that Dplus could be looking at. When we kind of threw to the break, we saw them with the strat book in hand, and it's not so much just going over to Club and looking at the strat book, but it's also those fundamentals that you need to look at. You're losing entry battles. You're not quite winning the battle with map control either. And can you get your top players performing? So all of those need to be worked on first and foremost before even strategy is talked about.
Yeah, some slight strategic differentiation will get you so far on Clubhouse, but only so far. Ultimately, it tends to 99% of the time boil down to fundamentals and execution, and executing a plan with mistake minimization. Of course, I guess that can be said to some extent for every single map, but really it is exacerbated on one that's as worked out as Club. Bolo gets the first.
It's more of the same, isn't it then, right? Bolo opening kill. I mean, Woogie's going for an intriguing roam over towards CCTV where he'll just play lurk and hope for the best. Maybe someone from DarkZero doesn't clear out his position. either a missed drone or just no drone at all, and then no info, but he's already caught. Now you got one pushing, top red, one in cash. Good swing though, and Pamper wasn't quite ready for it. Thought he would potentially stay behind the server rack. They do eventually flush him out from that position, and DarkZero still maintain a player advantage as Bolo has found a second kill. You're playing basement club defense, and you've got a lurk roamer in towards CCTV. It doesn't always work out. And in this case, certainly does not. Despite the one kill, you then get traded. You're still down a player. 50 seconds for DarkZero to turn their attention towards the site. They haven't done with hatches towards Moto and Kitchen. Those are still reinforced. And Taylor looking to try and get the Kayed Claw to keep this lockdown, and I think that's successful. It will be. Good timing, but then immediately blind peeks over towards bot main. He loses the hatch. Moto opened up. They can still play triple at Church. And there's not a lot of time remaining for DarkZero. This is where they're going to be super clean as they make the entry in towards site.
20 seconds then on the clock here for DarkZero. Coded falls.
Don't just triple drop this. This could... Well, I mean, the flashes go out. That's going to keep them wide at the backside, and there is no Warden up or in play. They have to try and stick the plant down. JLT doing at least something with one kill. Plant onto the floor. Stick it. Nave, you've got no time. Nave, stick the plant. Nave, stick the plant. Nave, stick the plant. Nave, stick the plant.
There was a nitro.
I mean, I know there's a nitro, but what's the other option? Don't stick it.
I would
Time runs
probably
out
say
anyway.
that the two players up above trying to hold Vert was maybe not the best of plays. And
Well, I
someone
guess
needed
they
to
could
drop
have
and
certainly
support.
done a lot more as well, but DarkZero just capitulating at the end of that round. They had the numbers, they had position. And in the end, yes, Nave's in that default position, but the others then need to kind of play off of that. If there is a nitro in play, go deal with it. Push out.
Yeah, keeping two.
But he also still has to stick to play because your time's going to just run out anyway. You've got no other
Didn't
option.
matter. It didn't matter. I think he was trying to bait a pick, which, given two players were sitting up above, he kind of had to. It was...
Well, we'll watch it back
weird.
here on the replays. Firstly, over towards Wookieman. The fact that he even gets one there with two bearing down on his position is at least decent. Yeah, that nitro is very late, by the way. So there was like 10 seconds left on the clock. When they went to drop that hatch, kitchen hatch, they had 3 players in there. And it was certainly a numbers advantage with DarkZero. They could have played that way, way, way better.
It's more than fine to retain one up above for the retake, but doubling down is rather unusual. So just some small potential mistakes, I suppose, creeping in here for DarkZero in the opening round, and it's these kinds of opportunities, which is why I predicted perhaps something on the lines of a 7-2 scoreline, such as the nature of attack. Those mistakes can creep in.
I mean, was there enough in that round, though, from Dplus's perspective, if you want to kind of look at what they did in that round to get the win, or do you kind of pin it more down to not so much errors from DarkZero, but not quite capitalizing on the advantage that they had? And that's the thing, they had an advantage. They did a lot right in that round, but they couldn't subsequently get the round win. Is that more on DZ? Did Dplus do enough? I think we need to see a couple more rounds, but at the very least for Dplus, it's a nice early round win. You're on the board, relieves a little bit of pressure. And all you can do is deal with what's in front of you, and the fact that they were still in a position with the nitro at the end of that round to deal with the default plan is something. Good positioning, good late round presence from Dplus. I still wasn't quite sure about the Woogie play towards CCTV, but he did get a kill. He got one. I mean, you can't complain in that situation. One and done. Rafters control for Nave on the extension of his gym bedroom site towards Cash and CCTV. Selmas will be uncontested. It is 3 players. Your eyes are not deceiving you. 3 players coming out of Cash.
Yeah, critically for DarkZero, that was all relayed, and so they know that this half of the map is now cleared. Gives the team the ability now to push forward and claim this map control. Drones as well positioned down below for any potential flank or a nitro on Vert. DarkZero also getting to work on the opposing side of the map as well, over towards Jacuzzi, the Maverick in play to help facilitate that. Pre-placed down below from Envy Taylor. Pinged out, so the rest of the team can coordinate around that. JRT in response will play behind the desk with Logi. So that could be a rather successful win con for the defense. Envy Taylor, though, after placing that Nitro, has now found himself isolated over towards Strip. With the Deimos in play, this is high risk.
Guys, there's no time left. This feels like the 2-minute point of a round. There's 30 seconds. What is going on?
I think he's just going to hold the cross. The rest of the team will hit.
Opening kill.
Oh,
Did come from NJR. Envy Taylor wins the battle over towards Strip. Now he can push and play from down below. He can actually deny any kind of vault over in towards Jim. Guys, there's 10 seconds remaining. The drop from NJR does get the kill on to Envy Taylor. Good nitro from Woogie over towards, waits for Nave to get the plant down. Castle barricade now against you, Yunsang. No time remaining. The plant will be successful. Good cover from NJR to help out Nave and JLT in a 1v2. Despite the fact that there was very little time remaining in the round, DarkZero have made it work. Certainly not super clean siege from either of the two teams, but a win nevertheless, and DarkZero tie it up 1-1.
yeah. I really don't think that was overall that poor from DarkZero, and I wasn't sitting here too concerned in terms of the time remaining in that particular round. The cutoff was good. Envy Taylor got pretty fortunate to win this fight down below. Really shouldn't be, especially on land, but did fall. The castle then used against the defense, and the retake was very difficult, or at least Plantanar was very challenging, and then the retake difficulty did compound. And DarkZero are pretty clinical in identifying quickly and being able to shut down those win cons that were still available for Dplus with limited time remaining. So I think that's generally a pretty decently well-played round from them.
I do find it kind of ironic that the castle barricade went against them in the end. They've set that one up. And these are the little fundamentals that we've kind of been speaking out through this series that for Dplus that's gone against them. And it cost them in that round. If that castle barricade had been prepped or, you know, easily removable, then they could have actually denied that plan from going down, and then there was no time left. So that could have been a very winnable round for Dplus here. 1-1, though. DarkZero on the board with an attacking round. NJR and Nave have certainly led the way in this series for DarkZero. The Dplus Kia running out of chances here at the Montreal Major, round by round. Cash and CCTV, tertiary site. They do not repeat gym bedroom. Swift entry into that site I just mentioned for DarkZero. A rather normal hold though for Dplus in this third round on the defense. JLT will play Raptor's position on the Wamai with the Wamai discs. Not looking to change too much up though. But it is very much a heavy stack outside of the fact that Coda's playing stop. Everyone else is hard into sight.
I like the implementation there of the gridlock here in terms of the attack comp from DZ. That mainstairs position can be a difficult threat to shut down. With gridlock getting a couple of buffs as of recent. Those stingers do pack a little bit of a punch, tricky to clear, and will absorb utility. Speaking of utility, Con now under pressure, but Yunsang up close, able to trick the wall. And escape.
He's done well in that situation. Good delay. DarkZero still have answers though to get this con wall opened up. Forcing Dplus more deeper into CCTV rather than Cash. Envy Taylor still in great position. Top red. Mirror window. Woogie thinking about a potential swing. Dplus got anything to try and get in on the backside. There are no flanks going over towards main. It's very much a sight hold defense for Dplus, so DarkZero aren't going to get caught by anything, at least right now.
Well, there is still double nitro available for Woogie and Yunsang. So keep an eye on that utility in terms of denying plant rotation to come through from NJR, main wall, exothermic to breach that, uncontested. Candela's now cooking for DZ.
JLT has still got that Raptors position inside a garage as Woogie somehow wins the battle against Pampas, who is very low on HP. He does find 2 kills at a very difficult position inside the CCTV. He eventually did get dealt with. 2 up at the moment for DarkZero, but they've got 3 on the other side. Down to just Bolo in a 1v3, but as soon as he goes crouching on into sight, he loses his life. Dplus will find another defensive round here on Clubhouse. I believe that's from the B-Stream game.
Ah. Well, my prediction's under threat. Dplus have already reached 2 rounds.
I've still got space for one. I mean, I will say in terms of that attack from DarkZero, was it a little bit too one-dimensional? Right, it's just the con-side push. You got no pressure over towards Garage. You never cleared out Rafters. Very late on the Kennel's wall being opened up as well to put pressure into CCTV. You had no lounge to top red.
I mean, I think it really...
It's con only.
I don't know if the attack pattern was that bad. It's like this moment here. Yeah. Hammer losing that is insane, and then NJR got caught with flash in hand. I'm just penciling that down as a bit of bad luck and some decent forward positioning from Dplus. I don't think it's much deeper than that.
I'm not going too deep into it. Dplus will happily take any kind of luck that they can get. Don't mind me at all. We go to basement, 4th round. After what was a calamity on Lair. And remember as well, back on Lair, Dplus started strong. They had a 3-2 lead. They were looking okay. It was a competitive game. And then DarkZero just got on a massive roll. And I wouldn't be surprised if that somewhat is replicated, especially going into the second half when DarkZero go onto defense. Now, last time out, when we did see this particular site, it was a strange old solo roam from Wookieman towards CCTV. Did get 1 kill. Last then losing his life. Early use of the Boogie Auto breaches of the Ram from Bolo, opening up the kitchen hallway, floorboards. And a different take here on the church wall being held to try and keep that mirror window more available longer into the round. Kali employed as well from NJR, so real change up in this round, along with the Osa for DarkZero in terms of the operator lineup.
Yeah, the Osa, to me, typically telegraphs that we'll see the attack push down main through Ashwall. That's where I've seen it most commonly used. I mean, there could be another attacking pattern that DZ will look to employ. At the moment, though, just groundwork being established, hatches to be opened up. Kali lands from NJR, and Taylor will think about contesting, but this time around, unable to juggle that claw, and so Moto will be opened up. Contest towards triple. Woogieman has that information, has that read, but won't swing. That's the play to make. Vertical control from Kobe. Catches the heels of Coded, but he's able to escape. So at this point in time, still a rather even round with a minute on the clock. For me, it's all eyes on Nafe. He has that diffuser in hand. The Osa is expected to be a big win con here for DarkZero. How do they look to try and shape around this?
Yeah. We'll say one thing that as well has been quite common in this half for DarkZero is the time management. They are letting these rounds really get late before they hit site. Nafe does get a nice pick onto Coded, continuing to struggle in this elimination matchup. 1 and 3 now on Clubhouse. 30 seconds remaining.
Oh no!
That nade will not quite hit the mark. Talon Shield in hand as JLT takes down Kobe Lax. The drop is successful from Nafe, and he can stick the plant behind the shield, of which he will very much stick the plant this time. Does not get off it. No, Nitrocell thrown in his location despite one being available. That was Woogie. He did lose his life. Tried to contest up above into the hallway. And MV Taylor will now have to try and push up above through main stairs and clear kitchen if they're going to have any chance of a retake. But he loses his partner in crime of JLT. In a 1v3 now in favor for DarkZero. They will easily clear main stairs. They got the plant down. All is right for DarkZero.
Yeah, you compare that attack to their previous attempt on basement, stark contrast. It was, again, a kitchen hatch job as opposed to maybe push the ash wall, which I was perhaps anticipating. Talon Shield offered coverage from Armory, and then we saw the Vert play short and up above as well to protect long and maybe any potential Nitrous or lob as well. A well-protected plant, and then the pressure from up above was able to shut down any retake attempt. So good work there from DZ. Clean opening pick from Nave for the plant to follow. Dplus not really offering a whole lot in that previous round. And so with it, the scoreline's now drawn to a piece. And again, maybe a bit more back and forth still to come in this first half, but Dplus need to establish a buffer. Their attacks at this event, I cannot understate, have been really, really poor. The stats do not lie. And with that, a 4-2 scoreline for me is pretty much bare minimum. So the next two from them need to be really, really clean. We transition over towards Gym Bedroom for this 5th round. Mirror in play for Dplus. The Bandit will persist as well. We've seen a little bit of that as well. We saw Warden as well in that previous round, I believe. No, we actually didn't according to... Oh, no, we did, sorry, in round number 4. We didn't see it really have much value into the utility that was presented by DZ with the Ying in play this time. However, that could change the complexion of the round a little bit if Coded can have impact. Unfortunately, though, for him, only the 1 kill so far.
And we were in a somewhat similar position on Lair at this point, and then this is when DarkZero just went bang, 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 and 7 of 8 rounds, and then game over. So it's really important and pivotal for Dplus that they can just kind of keep pace with DarkZero. Final 2 rounds of the half. Nitrocell goes through nicely and will get the kill onto Nafe. Really good lineup from MP Taylor, executed there to deal with the Maverick, which the wall has not been opened up. This is going to become a very difficult round now for DarkZero. They need to find a way to pivot and find a different avenue of attack. This is a really good opportunity in the 5th round for Dplus Kia to get a 3rd round on the board.
It may be the case of a Logi job with the Ying Blitz combination. Or NJR will split it and maybe play the Bulk and look to vault in and apply pressure that way through Jim. Either way, though, I think there's quite a bit of pressure on Bolo this round to get good value from Blitz. Oh, Woogie gets caught. So 4 versus 4, minute 20 on the clock. And the kills will flow the way of Dplus, however. Bolo not even given a chance to get his feet inside of the building. Eventually will, though, as Pambo is good for 1. Bolo trying to follow up over towards his 90 position is good for 1. And just like that, it's him all alone. 27 HP, default dealt with. JRT and Coded should be able to win this one out.
Probably doesn't feel like he can really slow it down, but he does have a minute remaining. Low on health, though. You're playing the Blitz. You kind of want to keep that pace, go fast, 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 but there's a Warden up as well. So that's going to be very difficult to deal with. The glasses to deny the flash. He'll go grab the kit over towards top main. 45 seconds, again, can still play that time as Coded slips in towards Jim. Will Bolo be aware of this, though? The way he's moving around the map suggests he wasn't quite aware. Took further damage, and Coded will put an end to Bolo's escapades up above. Dplus will find a 3rd round.
Yeah,
so far, it's just 1 for 1 between these two. They're going back and forth here on Clubhouse.
1 for 1, though, still is it's not good enough for Dplus.
No, it's better for DarkZero.
Yeah, if their tracking history is anything to go by, it's not going to be good enough.
But if they can find one here in the 6th round, deny the 1 for 1s, go up 4-2. I mean, that's something. That's something. Something to build off, a good platform that they can take into the 2nd half going into their attack, which I know that's going to be, well, difficult for them. It started with that Nitrocell, of course, onto the Maverick of Nafe. And while it did get a little bit dicey, they were always in best position to win out that round because of that initial kill on the Hard Breacher. Credit to Dplus, they've been, I would say, more competitive than I thought here in this matchup. Maybe that's just a symptom of beginning on defense.
All I'll say is your 7-3 prediction is very much alive and you have a knack for getting them right. So I wouldn't be shocked if DZ win 5 straight. I'm very, very confident that Dplus defensively are going to be difficult for Dplus to break down. Time will tell, though. Catch CCTV then for the final round of the half. Once again, we're going to see DZ and Bolo specifically leaning into the gridlock, so anticipating a map sweep across, and there's track stingers to be used for main stairs. You can see the drone positions again here from DarkZero and JR to Flick, very similar to what we saw previously, to help facilitate a push on this side of the map. And I think that doubling down on this game plan for this push is the right decision for DarkZero. Last time out, I stand by my call that it was a little bit unlucky the way in which they did lose this round out, with Pamba going deep and losing the fight, and then NJR main breach also losing a fight with flash in hand. Both of those arguably should have gone their way, and if they did, the round flips. So Dplus need to do a better job here, in my eyes, in contesting this con breach and you know, being able to withstand the pressure of the final push. The Ying is not in play.
Yeah.
So that's a big differentiating factor from DZ.
But they bring the buck, so I wonder if there's going to be more emphasis on Vert down below.
Yep, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, in stock.
So this is where this is where the change up's going to come from for DarkZero in terms of adding a little bit more of a different element to the attack this time around on Cash and CCTV, rather than that more one-dimensional push in through Con. You can now get pressure stock and lounge, maybe even then sweeping across towards red later in the round. Oh, that's not going to be it though from Bolo. I think he wanted to try and throw some track stingers into the side. Well, almost a quick response from Pambasu, but the round is starting to look a little bit more shaky for DarkZero. Fortunately, NJR and Nave continue to perform at a very high level in this series. They find two back-to-back. They deal with Woogieman and JLT, and with that final minute remaining of the half, they've got themselves a 4-3 advantage.
Yeah, the pivot onto the buck here, serving DarkZero pretty well and applying pressure vertically.
2 nitros.
2 gas fades. So they have the tools, but do they have the manpower? DarkZero could overwhelm. 40 seconds on the clock. Yunsang in an awkward position now. CCTV alongside Coded.
NJR has just dropped down, but he can play the CC window if he wants later in the round, further across and sight lines in towards the site. 30 seconds remaining, but as we know, DarkZero like to play this way. Slower, methodical, final gas pave from MB Taylor. Lineup from Yunsang with one of the 2 nitro cells, the other one with Coded. NJR's gone all around the top of the building into the final push to come now for DarkZero. MB Taylor still expecting maybe a push from Lounge down below in towards red. One of the nitro cells thrown and exploded as Yunsang losing his life. Full white, they're on to MB Taylor, and despite the clock ticking down, it is still DarkZero that take the final round of the opening half, all tied up 3-3 as we were on Lair.
돈 주고 바로 에임 돼야지. 아니 그 쟤네 가지 까잖아. 돈 주고 에임 박아야지.
Yeah, a much better attack there from DarkZero. I like the implementation there of the buck. And again, even though time was waning a little bit and NJR was forced to reposition, they still had that flash util available, positioned it well, able to go for a potential deep plant position and then force Dplus off their heels. Not entirely sure what Bolo was looking to achieve there at the beginning of the round, and it did put his team at a disadvantage, but the recovery effort was clean. And with that, a good platform heading into the second half. Dplus unable to reach that critical 4-round threshold that we believe they need at bare minimum. Dplus, their attacks have fallen short of the mark time and time again here in Montreal. And with their spot at the tournament on the line, now they need to find that gear.
27% coming into today, ranked the lowest at the major for Dplus. And of course the contrast to that, as I mentioned before, in terms of defense for DarkZero, 25% coming into today. I would imagine that their defense should prevail against Dplus's attack, especially on this map. And especially considering what we saw in the opening map on Lair. It's looking very likely that DarkZero are going to progress forward here at Montreal, and we will be saying goodbye to Dplus, but still some water under the bridge that's necessary. Dplus with backs up against the wall will have to pull off a miraculous second half here if they can keep this series alive.
Still, though, it has been our most competitive elimination game of the day, off the back of the G2-14.
Well, 2 elimination games today. The other one was not a contest at all, and this one has been, yeah, as you said, slightly more. I agree. Poking fun at G2 there, guys. How awful of you. The one thing I will say as well with DarkZero in terms of their clock management, like, yes, they let the round get very late, but they do it almost on purpose. And they're very much ready and understanding that, hey, we're only going to have like 15 seconds here left in the round, but we're going to do everything very concise and very quickly. Whereas for Dplus, and at times a lot of the APAC teams, that clock management isn't like, hey, we only need the 15 seconds. It's like, oh shit, there's only 15 seconds. And now we don't know what to do. And that's going to be, I think, the telling factor in this second half. Moto hatch about to be worked on by Wookieman on the Maverick. Yeah, there's not going to be much time here, and then Dplus are going to probably just drop kitchen hatch. They'll die.
So pessimistic.
I feel like I've seen this just far too often, though.
There's still 2 Zotos.
Like, you got
left,
Zoto canisters, like you've got Gas Babes, Kaid Claw. Like, guys, just there's 40 seconds left. You're getting stalled out by utility. Kobilax is in dirt as well, so you can deny any kind of dirt rotate, which means maybe a blue push if they're very quick on the rotate. They could come through with that, and it's going to be a Moto drop. Double stack in from Dplus through Moto, making their way in towards Church. They've lost though both of those players, and it is just far too easy for DarkZero. The last 2 now in towards Moto. But this one is very much wrapped up and done. They do not even have the diffuser. Some nice shots for Wookieman and MV Taylor individually. Great for the stat pad, not great for the round. DarkZero go 4-3 up. That was not a good attack.
We'll do Jim default now. Jim default. Jim default, so that's 1 shotgun. Shield top red, 1 mine. I'm gonna hide the Cade, okay? Kobe, you're bandit. You're bandit barbed wire.
You're gonna hide the Cade.
Yes, 1 shotgun. I'm 2.
It's always awkward as a caster. Do we talk over this to help hide their strats, or do we shut up and let them leave?
Focus on top. I'm gonna try and keep ladder shot.
All I will say is there is a reason we quite confidently called the result of this match at the halfway point. That first round from Dplus illustrates some of the problems that they are having. Struggling to tick off the checklist of fundamentals on a basement defense does not instill much more confidence at all. In fact, they probably deflated even further for round number 8 and wants to follow. I'm not even deliberately trying to be negative, but it is so difficult to look at that round and find a single positive for Dplus. That's just the reality. And at the end of the day, 40 seconds left, still 2 Zotos in pocket. They're still trying to open kitchen hatch. They've got no point of pressure anywhere else on the map to dissuade the defense at all. Like, it doesn't get much more one-sided than that.
I mean, also, I think credit to DarkZero there that they understood that it's very likely Dplus are not going to have the best time management. Why don't we just go play the 2 route, sit back, deny these hatches, and like they're going to just fluff. The main stairs peak from Kobe, as Yun's saying, is dead. No Grim. But this is looking very grim right now for Dplus Kia, as the major lifeline is starting to really shorten. DarkZero, not that many more rounds required for them to progress forward into tomorrow for what will be another best of 3. Another elimination best of 3. And of course, we'll need to require 2 more best of 3 victories to try and make main stage. Maybe North America rising from the ashes of yesterday. Of course, with Sonics winning earlier in their elimination match, DarkZero about to do the same very likely. Could they go on a run?
I should also state, in terms of the context around 6th Invitational as well, DarkZero, they're qualified, they're chill at the moment in terms of points to make the top 16. Dplus sit at 21st. And so a loss here, again, much like G2, means that they will need to make a run through the APAC LCQ, which will, once again, be very ultra competitive when you consider how many teams in that region
that's going to be stacked.
Are going to be in the same position.
2 players up in this 8th round as Woogie will follow to the grave after Yun sang earlier on at the hands of Kobe. A flash over towards top red, coded down below, flashed himself. And they've got the pinch with MV Taylor up above. Bolo will fall. In the end, just kind of left on an island all by himself, top red, and outnumbered, outgunned. And the push through now from JLT into Con. Does he just go for a try peek in towards site? He's not getting pressured at the moment in through Con. MV Taylor out in the balcony, exterior of site. Jacuzzi hasn't really been opened up. I mean, this is actually pretty aggressive from JLT, just trying to play off of the fact that there's no real information, so sensing that they're just sitting back, and he can actually try and get this plant down. Nitrocell 1 available. Bambasu will get the one and only Nitro to land. Had it not, it could have been a very intriguing round, but it did, and with that, DarkZero then had a 3-1 player advantage. No chance really then for Dplus, and all too easy so far on the defense for DarkZero. Timeout called by Woogieman. Sorry to say, but I think it might be too little too late.
I felt that sigh. I felt that sigh as he began that
We've all
sentence.
had that sigh before.
We've all played a ranked game where you lose a round and somebody starts sighing. It's not a good sign. Definitely a much better day, though, to be an NA fan.
Yeah, absolutely. As I said, it's like a phoenix rising from the ashes.
Wow. They are still in the elimination zone, both DZ and Sonic.
Well, rising, they haven't quite, you know, hit the peak yet. Maybe main stage is the peak.
They're evolving.
They're evolving.
I do hope we see at least a few NA teams at the NA Major at the final phase. Not too many, but...
That's interesting there. Of course, Naif just kind of touching on the pacing there of Dplus. It's very widely known that, especially for a lot of these Korean teams, they can be very, very slow. And again, it's not quite the same pacing that we see from DarkZero, right? If you kind of look at both of them side by side in terms of just the timer, you'd be like, well, they're both slow. But DarkZero's slowness is far more meticulous versus Dplus, where it's more just down to bad time management, and then they're left with very little time remaining, and they haven't actually done the things they need to do. DarkZero do the things they need to do, it's like DarkZero almost playing like a 20-second meta style, whereas Dplus is just playing like, oh, we don't know what the clock is. Very, very different. Despite on paper looking rather similar. Fortunately, the contest does very much feel over. Has kind of felt that way maybe since the demolition on Lair, where DarkZero won 7 of 8 rounds. We're seeing something now similar kind of developing on Clubhouse as well, heading into the 9th round. They've won 4 of the last 5. It's that same momentum shift that we saw on Lair happening once again here on Clubhouse. Yun Sang wanting to try and get aggressive, does find Kobe Lax. A little bit lax inside of Jim. Does end up winning the battle, but then swiftly traded. The Mother Dome from Yun Sang. Throws the nade, and it will collect the kill after his life was already forfeited.
Did you say the Marty Dome? Isn't it Marty Dome?
Marty Dome? Marty Dome?
Castle, same thing.
Accent diff.
Yeah, Australia.
I mean, how much of another level can DarkZero go to, do you feel, moving forward into tomorrow?
I think using Sonics as a benchmark, I think that's pretty fair to do.
Yep.
The skill ceiling, in my eyes, is slightly higher with Sonics comparative to DZ. Simply based on what we've seen so far, you know, through regional leagues in Montreal. That could shift, though. I wouldn't be shocked. I think both teams still have quite a bit to prove. Montreal finding value once more here, though, for the defense, leaning heavy into the stall game that has served them well so far.
Good contest from Woogieman to get the kill on to Bambasu. Leaves Bolo up into rafters by himself. And a rather split defense now for DarkZero's. Dplus maybe have one last final stand to gain some momentum back in this match. Nitrocell available for all 3 remaining defenders. That one just missing Envy Taylor, but so much pressure on Bolo. Can he withstand the heat? So far, he's able to at least avoid it and go prone. They may feel like this is a position that is potentially cleared. The flash is coming his way. He'll have to stay prone. Can he get some help coming on over? Naif will fall and Bolo too.
야, 계획대로 됐어.
That was actually quite decent from Dplus as they do a pretty decent job clearing up above.
이거 다 했던 거야.
They win the tertiary site,
다음 거 봐.
and this one's not over just yet.
And our predictions are in the mud.
Oh, that's right, I said 7-3. Oh my goodness. Oh well.
I mean, DC still win though, right?
Wow.
Surely.
Wow. It would be quite a dramatic turn of events if they lose the momentum, shifts over to the side of Dplus, they bring us back, and then the mental starts getting talked about. So close to that finish line in this series. This was a very intriguing little battle. Display over towards Jim.
이쯤 이쁘긴 했어. 이번엔 하이딩 넣을 만하다.
There's a bit more energy and purpose in that attack compared to what we've seen previously.
Yeah, and that's where you've got to be a little bit careful now if you're DarkZero. You start to give them a couple of rounds, they start to get excited, you hear the cheers, they start to build the confidence, they maybe get more confident inside of the server and start to make more impactful plays on the attack. But that, to me, is also cache and CCTV, and in the APAC region is the site that usually attacking teams can be far more successful. Scopos in play.
Yeah, roam game in play as well, and we're going to see the repick leaning heavily into centering the attack around Deimos and the Blitz. Pretty intrigued to see how this is going to play out. It's a big shake-up, right, from DZ, who for the most part have been playing 2-brow. Let's stall them out and bunker down. This time, let's expand our reach across the map.
This is a spotted Scopos inside a strip. Good drone work from Dplus here to spot that out. Of course, Kobilax can look to transfer back to the other shell. If he does take some damage and finds the space to do the transfer, he'll be fine. Still inside a strip, and Dplus need to put all of their eggs in this basket right now and looking to shut down that Scopos as quickly as possible. With so much information, all this yellow ping intel from the drone, they've got to look to play this off as quick as they can before the Scopos transfers out.
Yeah,
and he's just spotted the drone.
They knew exactly where he was and didn't get value off the info.
Here's the push coming through now on the Bandit from Yunsang, who's, well, far and away lower than Kobilax, who finds the kill onto JLT. This clear has been so unsuccessful. Kobe, easy double, easy transfer, and that could be an easy round for DarkZero. So well played from Kobilax. Say it, guys. Let it out.
This isn't a therapy session. There's no one supporting the Blitz. I know Blitz is good, but some support, please. Work as a team. Kobilax did a phenomenal job. Don't get me wrong, but there's no counter pinch or pressure.
Very difficult prospect now for the remaining 3 players left alive of Dplus here with a minute remaining. It's an easy 5-man hold on site for DZ from here. You still have your hard breaches to finish opening those hatches, which they have, except for Kitchen. Kitchen hatch is still reinforced as the blue stairs lurk from Wookieman comes to fruition, and maybe hope he can catch someone off guard. And the push up main, and someone was caught off guard. It was coded though, and DarkZero on the verge of match and series point coming their way at the conclusion of this 10th round. They're 5-2 up in terms of player advantage. Wookieman has almost slipped deep into blue, but Envy Taylor has lost the kit. On the other side of Church Wall, it's flawless. It's DarkZero now 1 round away from sending Dplus out of the Montreal Major.
Yeah, it was a cool strat from DZ, going for that roam game, reinforcement strips, and the Scopos into that position. Dplus Kia got stalled out again. They had a read exactly where Kobe was for a long time, didn't use it properly to set up, sent in the Blitz solo. The follow-up was late, the counter pinch as well, not on offer from the likes of the Deimos. Kobe could escape with a shell. DZ fortify site, and a pretty easy round in the end.
When does Bolo play? Tomorrow?
Bolo didn't really have to play much in that last round.
Yeah, I think he must play tomorrow. I think it's going to be in a best of 3 elimination game. Another one. Who will they play though? We don't know yet. We'll find out soon. Not too long to go now, actually. We're actually nearing the end of the day. Much shorter than yesterday.
Marginally shorter, yeah.
Marginally.
I'm pretty shocked that neither, well, again, speaking in advance a little bit here, but pretty surprised neither of the Elim games went to a third map.
No. Well, the promo games on the B stream, well, the first one, FaZe Clan, of course, into phase 3 after taking down Falcons. W7M and Liquid battling on that B stream right now. W7M did win the opening map. Liquid right now fighting back and have the lead on the second map, so that one might go to a third. Of course, it's Stats and Ace, so overtime, there's a chew.
Is this one going to OT?
I don't think so. Gym Bedroom for the match point round, the 11th round. While they're holding red stairs on the extension with Pampazoo inside a cache, or rather default. Kobilax maybe looking to deny Jacuzzi with the shockwave batteries, but slips back in towards bathroom as Jacuzzi will get opened up. That's at least a mini win for Dplus Kia. They've also got entry position on the other side of the map too if they want it. Not sure where that Rotero was really aiming to go. You only got one left as well for Woogie Man.
Yeah.
And is he just playing this blindly? Well, they're gone. No more Roteros for the Flores. Aggressive angle from Kobilax.
I think he's going to have to be a stand-up play for the defense again here, Kobe. In dismissing the push through Jacuzzi. Oh, it's Nafe though elsewhere. Rotated down main and Koda gets caught. Kobe does eventually step up to the mark as JRT looks to push through. And I think this series may officially be over in a moment's time.
Well, unfortunately for Dplus Kia, the time of the Montreal Major is out of time. As they have now fallen in this round, they will fall in the map and the series as a whole. G2, save these guys a seat on the plane home, will you? Because they're coming to the airport right now at the hands of DarkZero. It's 2-0. And they move forward to tomorrow, where